loads of problems before with you shaking
Yeah,
your camera. You know,
yeah,
you spent 5 minutes putting your makeup on.
that's it.
You
Yeah,
know, and then you said you had to go and brush your teeth and feed the kids.
yeah,
You know, it's one thing after another with you, isn't it? All every single time. You know. Anyway, look, never mind about that. Stuart, thanks for coming on for a wee bit, just to give us a bit of an update on what's going on. You know, because it's been I don't know, it's been a funny old season for a lot of players, especially top 16 players. You
yeah.
know, we've got a lot of fresh bait, if you want to call it that, that's joined the tour and what have you. So what I want you to do basically, so this is kind of like an update. So can you give us a bit of a reflection on the season for yourself? You know,
Yeah,
what's been
no,
going on?
yeah. Obviously, been tough. Really. Started the season off pretty good. Got to the final group of the Championship League in the summer last year. Maybe probably one or two shots away from maybe probably getting to the final. But yeah, finished. I don't know. What did I finish? Something like fifth or third, or I think it was third. It was group of four. So finished third in the final group. But yeah, felt like I could have sort of do some damage the season. Didn't really have a lot of time off in the summer, and it sort of proved really because a lot of I think there was out of the 8 that was in the final sort of 2 groups, I think 5 of them were Chinese, and you know they're going to just practice all the way through the summer anyway. So yeah, I felt like I could have done some damage sort of this season, and it just sort of just ain't really turned out that way. They've obviously done the qualifying a bit different for the home nations, so there's been long gaps in between tournaments. Maybe we got a bit lucky to qualify for the European Masters in Firth. Again, went there, had an unbelievable match with Ali Carter. He ended up beating me 5-4, made 100 in the last. Felt like I was playing really well. Hard one to take because obviously he went through to the semis, I think, and I felt like I could have easily won that tournament the way I was playing, the way I was feeling. So it's just sort of like lost a bit of confidence, losing matches, and then I had a bit of a bad spell. I was working with Gary Filtness and just didn't really see the sort of the benefits of it anymore. So let him go, and then I'd sort of lost maybe probably the next 4 or 5 matches on the trot. Was it German Masters, Scottish Open, English Open, sort of second round of the UK. So yeah, it just seemed like bad time to lose a bit of confidence and sort of struggle with the game. Beginning December, started working with Chris Henry, and within sort of like even just one session with him, I felt the benefits of it. And it's sort of obviously say going forward, got through in the Championship League just before Christmas in Group 2 to the finals group, and then obviously gone to the Masters. A little bit of confidence, didn't expect much, and then played some maybe probably best snooker I've played since when I won the Masters, sort of thing.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched your performances. There, you seemed to be quite consistent. You were scoring really heavy, played well, and it kind of puts you back on track a little bit. Gives you a lot of confidence, doesn't it? I suppose. But
Yeah,
being in
yeah,
the top
obviously,
16, Stu, you know, and being in top 16, you know, I think some of the players can get a little bit of, I don't know, kind of get a little bit complacent, maybe, you know, and I think they're expecting to do a little bit better because even players in the top 16 have ups and downs, you know, rounds and
yeah,
lose matches they don't expect to lose, you know, and I think that's one of the things a lot of our experience. I mean, I spoke to Mark Davis there. His video will be coming on pretty much just the same time as yours. Mark was talking about. Mark is, I think, I'm not sure how old Mark is. I think he's 48 now. I
I
think you're 40.
thought he was about 57.
No, listen, sure, he looks 57. He looks 57. But
He plays golf
tell
like
him.
a 57-year-old.
He gets very, very touchy about his age. You'll see that in the video because. By the way, you're 46.
Yeah.
You know you're 46, and you look it. Okay, so don't you get ahead of yourself. Okay, and just like Mark, you've spent nearly 30 bloody years on the tour.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, look, players at the age of 46 who are still in the top 16, I think are doing pretty well. Ronnie's doing bloody well. He's still winning big tournaments. He's punishing, he's scalping the arses of these young guys who think they're going to climb the ladder very quickly, if you want to put it that way. And you're obviously still in the top 16, just about.
Yeah.
So it's easy to kind of look at the whole picture, isn't it? And have a look and question yourself, what's happening. So give me a wee bit of feedback on that, Stu. I mean, are you still prepping yourself the same way? Is there anything changes? Do you feel your game's getting a wee bit more strenuous with age?
Yeah, I think, like you say, I've probably been sort of winging it really for the last sort of 2 or 3 years. Looking back, probably didn't realise how much probably COVID has done for a lot of people. Obviously, we know China, so we're missing them events. Like I say, all my success is all from when there was loads of tournaments. All of a sudden, since obviously COVID, we obviously China ain't been on, so we've lost a few tournaments there. Like this year, we've lost Gibraltar. Obviously, the qualifying in between the home nations, top 16, don't need to qualify. So I ain't really been playing probably as much as I'd like. I'd have probably liked to be in the qualifying, just to keep playing. So look, you sort of look at it that way. It feels like it's gone back to sort of before Barry Hearn got involved. It's like seems like there's like 10 tournaments. I think I worked out there was, I think it was something like 17 tournaments. When Barry first got on the scene, I think it went up to about 25. So we've obviously missed out a few tournaments, like I say, with China and places like that. But yeah, I've obviously been struggling for a couple of years, looking at my eyes, sort of my eyesight feel like that's going. But then I sort of look at sort of wearing contacts and glasses, and then I go and put in a performance like I did in the Masters, and it's all a load of rubbish. So you sort of probably looking a bit too deep into things. I just need to sort of get on the practice table, put some hours in, working on the right stuff where I've probably ain't been working on the right stuff. And obviously now with Chris Henry, he's putting me through my paces, and I can only see it improving. And obviously, like Ali Carter just obviously won a German, working with Chris for a few years. So hopefully I can sort of re-energise my sort of confidence and start getting some silverware again.
Chris has been very helpful to a lot of players. Most of the time he gives me a terrible headache, but that's just when he comes on here, because obviously I've improved his personality since we started doing the streams.
Yeah.
I brought you along as well, by the way. You were
Exactly.
very dull up until you started coming on here. But Chris, oh, by the way, did Chris did he give you that little booster at the Masters?
Yeah, like I say, just started working on a few different things. I could see my concentration it just went up a notch. We do this routine where you get in the balls, and it's like a cat looking at a mouse. Don't take your eyes off it, and that's obviously what he's working on, like with me on the table. Don't take your eyes off the table, and sort of look at what you're doing. Where I think I used to be like that, and I might have just sort of slowly slipped away without me knowing. And so when I got on that table, when I stood up on the stairs before Kyron's match, I looked round. I'm like, oh my god, this is packed. I'm like crapping myself here. But as soon as I got round the table, all that went. I was just playing the ball sort of thing, and concentration was really good. And obviously it's just just slowly coming into the game. I just obviously need to get some confidence, and when that obviously clicks, then I'll fancy going deep in tournaments again.
Mm-hmm. Well, there isn't much really left for the rest of the season. We got the Welsh Open coming up, and then we've got the Six Reds, and then the World Championship. Is that right?
Yeah, got the Welsh Open. I think I need to get to the final to get in the players. I think I'm 32 on the 1 year list, so I need a final to get into that. After that, I've got Championship League final on the 1st and 2nd of March, and then next day I'll fly to Thailand for the Six Reds.
Six Reds, yeah.
And then straight after that, we've got the new tournament, the WST Classic.
Okay.
In Leicester.
Right.
And then I think then you got the Tour Championship, which is obviously I'm a mile away.
Yep.
And then I think after that, then it's the World Championships, I believe.
So these kind of I don't know, Stu. Put me in a place here, really. These new types of tournaments that are coming through. We got the Championship Leagues, which is a very short format. Probably good prep for all the top pros. But is it enjoyable? Is it a hindrance? Is it like, would you rather just play a qualifier, a best of 7, event and just play it out? Or do you think these tournaments, like the ones you just talked about, you think they're good?
Obviously, it's been the Championship League. It used to be at Crondon Park, which is sort of 10, 15 minutes from me. That's been going on for 10, 11 years or so. It's good. It's good little practice. Obviously, they go down the rankings, so obviously a lot of players don't get the chance of playing it. It's a good, obviously, money earner. We're playing for like £100 a frame. I think Matt Selt, he's in group. What is he, 6 now? I think he's already earned about 19, 20 grand through the 5 groups or whatever. So you can earn some money, and like when it sort of finishes, it's a nice little bonus. But it ain't obviously good for the tour because, like you say, maybe 85% don't get a chance to play in it. But maybe a little perk of being up in the rankings. But obviously the WST Classic coming up, obviously that's best of 7s. It's like a home nations event. So obviously World Snooker, it was good news after obviously Turkey got cancelled. But obviously good news that they've put on a tournament as quick.
Yes,
but yeah, obviously I'm a fan of the longer frames, best of 7s. Obviously I've won a few events, best of 7s, things like that. So you got to get in quick, and now I'm getting older, and it's sort of the eyes and the brain sort of don't start as quick as maybe a young lad coming through. So I'm finding it tough, but I'm more of a fan of the longer games. It gives you a chance to get involved in a match, and you can sort of have a little slip and still get back in the match.
I think we need a lot more exciting snooker players. We need some new blood. We need to get a little bit of excitement into the game, don't we? And we've got some exciting young players getting on the tour. Young Stan Moody got on the tour there just recently. We've got players like Dylan Emery, who I think will come through after a bit of experience. Players, I can see players like Robbie McGuigan getting on a tour, who practices with Mark Allen and Jordan Brown. There's a lot of exciting young players coming through, but they've got to do their work. They've got to do their apprenticeship, and they're not going to find it easy when they do get on the tour, like many have. And I kind of got the same view from Mark Davis there when we spoke to him. I had a chat with Mark about the ranking system and about players. I call them hoppers. They go on, they come off. They get on the tour, they go to Q school, they get on, they come off, they get on again. And quite a lot of these guys, Stuart ex-pros, who have kind of not really got themselves in the top 64.
Yeah.
And, you know, the numbers tell you everything. Quite often at Q School, when we had three events there, you'd find that half the guys who got back on were ex-professionals who never really made a good living. What does that tell you? Does that tell you that there's too many pros on the tour, or does that tell you something else?
I think it shows you what experience means. The ex-pros that have been there, done it, know what it takes to win matches. The young lads coming through, they all want to pop balls off the lampshades, make 100 break, but it ain't all about that. It's all about winning. And I think I think you had it. I think Adam Duffy. I think I thought he gave up, and then all of a sudden he went to Q School and he got back on. But I think there was a few that sort of put their cue down for a few years, gave Q School a go, and got through.
Yeah.
And it just shows you, even though they ain't played, they can. I think Alfie Burden done it. I think he sort of went missing for a bit and went in the Q School, got through, and it just sort of shows you the what experience means. Like you say, you got Stan Moody, obviously just won the World Junior, and he's obviously still going in the World Amateur. I was sort of following the results.
I'm not sure what's going to happen there, really. What happens if he wins that? Does a runner-up get the tour place?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, I hope somebody gets it, because he's favourite to win that too, mate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like you say, someone posted. I think it was Peter Devlin said, is it Niall Quinney? Is that his name? I can't remember what his name is. He said he's the oldest one left in the quarterfinal, so he's 22. Burgle Quinn, that's it.
Burgle, yeah.
He said he's the oldest one left in it. He's 22, which is good for the game. Like quarterfinals of the World Amateur. Obviously, it shows you that there's young blood coming through. So yeah, I see what 3 Chinese in the bottom half. You got Lulian. I can't. How do you say his name? Boyko. Who's on the tour? He's obviously fallen off. Obviously Stan Moody. So yeah. I think.
Stu, what these young guys, these kids, these amateurs, whether they're even 30-year-olds are kids to me, because obviously I'm 55 years old and only look about 45. But I mean, these kids. Let's talk about the mentality here and what the way they should be approaching any intentions of getting on the tour. How should they be thinking? What would you be doing if you were an amateur and you want to get on the tour? What sort of things would be going through your mind? Would you be thinking, I want to play everything, or should I just focus on Q School, because if I can't make that, then I'm not going to make a living? What way would you be thinking approaching this?
Me personally, I'd play in everything I can, every way possible. Every match you'll be learning, you'll be getting more experience in big matches. You get through. Even like you say, Stan Moody just winning the World Junior. What a title that is to have it behind him. It only gives you confidence, and people start sort of being afraid of you because you've won that title. So anything you can play in. Don't care if it's in a club, anywhere, any tournaments you can, I'll be playing in. Obviously, there's a couple of pro-ams the week after the Welsh Open. So if I don't get in the tour, the Players Championship, I'm playing in a couple of pro-ams just to keep playing, just to try and keep match sharp. That's what I used to do before Barry Earn got in the game. When there were 6 events, I'd be playing in a pro-am in Holland, in Belgium, in Germany, just anywhere to play.
It get very expensive, Stu. It could get very, very expensive for these lads. If they want to travel all over the country. I mean, and playing amateur events, it's really not going to get them anything more than a little bit of recognition rather than a tour place. I mean, if it was me personally, I'd be looking at Q Tour, Q School, and thinking to myself, right, this is my budget. This is all I can afford to play in. And
Yeah.
if I can't make this, then that's fine because, quite a lot of players on the tour are not making enough money.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah.
All right, we've got the 20K now, which is going to help. The 20K is going to help
Yeah.
a lot of
We've
the
had
lads
that.
who are struggling on the tour. That was always going to come. That was always going to happen, I thought. But the thing is that they perhaps maybe the lads should have a little think and look at how much they're spending on traveling all over the country because they all can't afford it. They can't afford it. So I
Yeah.
mean,
I
if you
suppose you could sort of look at it step by step. Say, go in your local clubs, even handicaps. Take it step by step. Win a couple of handicaps tournaments in your club, and then go to pro-ams wherever's about. There's always a couple at Leeds. So there's one. There's a few in Barrett's, just about to start. Jamie O'Neill's sorting all that out. Obviously, Kaya and there, all the other players. So there's step by step. Once you sort of say you could go in a couple of the say like handicaps, then you go to pro-ams, and then you got the Q school, Q tour, and then get bigger and bigger as you sort of improve and start sort of widening your horizon, as you say.
I want to touch on something before we wrap this up, mate. Just want to get your views on it. I've got views from Mark Davis as well on this, and I'll be speaking to a few others. I just want to talk about the current professional ranking system.
Yeah.
Okay, it's obviously it used to be points. It used to be a point system in the older days, and then obviously it became money. Do you think that's a true measurement of a player's ability? Do you not think we should maybe revert back to points and maybe award a little bit more to maybe the lower rank professionals who are coming through? Because the seeding system, Stu, is really not fair on perhaps maybe a lot of those lower rank. I mean, we've all got different views on this, but
Yeah.
I mean, the current ranking system pretty much guarantees you a player 75 and above, at a qualifier pretty much. And that poor guy's getting thrown at the deep end. He goes, Christ, I've got Bingham. I mean, I've got no chance of even winning a couple of grand, I mean, it's kind of like that. And do you not think it would be better maybe if they went back to points and awarded some money for frames or match wins or frame wins and create maybe you could kind of call it a better measurement of a player's ability or potential? Do you not think there should be a better system?
I think the point system was better. You're looking at the money; it's so top heavy, as you say. I'm not sure about the ranking system. I think it should go back to the tiered system. So players that are coming on, they play people their own level, and
Totally
then they're fighting their own level to. Then they get a bit of confidence, they win a bit of money, and when they do eventually get through to the sort of last 32, last 64, and they're playing us, they've got a bit of confidence, they've won some money, and they've won some matches, so they'll improve that way. So yeah, I think that's more of the situation, not sort of the ranking points or money. I think the tiered system should come back. Like we had a coffee break with World Snooker the other day, and Fergal O'Brien sort of said he's done the qualifying for I think it was like Northern Ireland. He had to go to England in Barnsley or whatever, playing a qualifier, and he's got the winner of John Higgins and whoever in the second round. John Higgins plays on the first day, wins his match. He's got Fergal's got him the next day, so he's had he had his match the day before, so he's all warmed up and prepared and all that. Fergal won his qualifier 5 weeks before, and he might not have had another match since then. Mm-hmm. So he's under it anyway, playing John Higgins, but then he's sort of like John's been on the table literally the day before, so they're sort of looking at all the systems of what's best and what's not. And like I say, a lot of people, I think the tiered system would be better. I know a few players was all sort of for it before it changed to the flat draw. But when, like, this is the thing with snooker players, when it suits them, they're all good for it, but they don't look at the bigger picture. They all look at their own sort of stature or their own sort of prize money or whatever. Where I think you should look at what's better for the game. Like you say, you've got these lads that are coming on. They're sort of running into sort of they could play in 5 events and get 5 top 8 players, and like they'd be lucky to win one of them. So they've got no money. Obviously, with this 20 grand, it's obviously a great boost for them. They can sort of, like you say, give up their day job and practice and become a professional snooker player. But like you say, for them to have a chance of winning any of those matches is, like I say, it's near enough a miracle. They're going to play them. They're in the main arena, main table, so everything's against them. So if they go through this tiered system and they're playing people their own, if they don't win a match, then they're obviously not good enough. But then once they sort of get involved in it and they're getting chances after chance, and they start building confidence, and I think that's probably the best way for any sort of newcomer on the tour to be in a tier system.
Well, Stu, that's very significant feedback there from you, and I'm sure I'm going to get very similar view from other top 16 professionals. And let's hope that maybe this is looked at by the powers that be and maybe reviewed. Stu, I've had you on here for nearly half an hour. You've given me a terrible headache. You're starting to get on my nerves, all right? So I want to thank you for coming on. It has been a while. I haven't missed you, okay?
Likewise. Likewise, Dave.
Did you want to play in Charlie Pool's Pro-Am in Sunday, the March 12th? March 12th, are you free?
March 12th. I'm in Thailand. I think I'm in Thailand then. I might be flying home that day.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I didn't want you there anyway. Okay, I just thought I'd offer. Out of courtesy, I thought I'd offer it to you because nobody likes you very much. I'm the only person here that has any sympathy for you, So, look, listen. Thanks very much for coming on, mate. You can stay on there a wee second when I shut this down because otherwise people will get bored,